sabi, you do the wine. As I dey sleep, I be counting my ceiling. Oh my God, what a feeling. 21st century.
And being a cabin of your Amissah from the Wanasipi. That may think about it as a chrono. In the Yeba Boshe, upon the pipe between Yafada, ye can't institute or your coastal areas are in Zama Tumits, then Nefe Tumina Bomb between the impact of flood to the coastal areas, or Tumina Bonefe Tumina Akayim. Yes, and so they ensue resay or ye in Zama P or ye can Ganaha. Nazame pinyan would the oyes who papa or oya the main insamim until your bois nefi tumne actually what environmental and ecological impact sir a bisabisanumubia able to mina aboa you fisheries and livelihood impact no so you can't no so about so between your social and community impact whether you can get it economic and infrastructure impact whether it will work out climate and policy departation no so ye tumna ya mebu tumnu no osana mbe na ejiri ejuma mebu tumnu no ambe na etumi ye ejuma na efe tumna abwa nti ye ya kakaka za ibu tumnu ebe ya ho ejuma nti bizin kan ya hwe oye the environment environmental and ecological impact say ye kan oye flood wo oye hinembia ahorowa nti the impact of flood to the coastal areas no yako na yakobo ho oyon komo eba for the mark nje na pay na ye chia oya hene vc oya doctor educhum enyim boache kwekusu ka ho kweku na abaselo ko ente vc ane pay ye chia oya cctu ye chia wa ne pay meto nka acha waso hunu ma acha brother jana no oya anta mefi ntina amasisi anda nta hu nti VC and the page me free na the mouse no Professor Kamila Banfeje that was P on the modo Mahisaka or engineer Dr. Gabriel Jonathan Amissah Amissah nti anoha aboboy man the monkomati na etumna afa oyene tampe efra. No, good morning.
Good morning.
Apomi yaze
Onyamiadom.
Right. It was so late in Safra Bagansa. Dog Hansa never question even no. Yes, the coastal area out to the coastal areas. Say, baby, the man said, then I put my chamber to Nafa. Coastal areas in Sunukopi, Yana, and flood into Computum send them and I don't know.
Manasi Bebre, Meso, make far a queen yaduna, my chairman VC, Prof. Kweku Edichune Yimboache. Prof. Banfeje onuna oma minya akwenya mabahade ya no pe na nkanka so ya na ahwefu nyina na etiefu nyina so anope ozikan flooding yehwema owom asro 2p nsuroto ntiza yehun p adwuna okodan pluvial flooding obe nsuboto na nsunu beye p ontum nkwa asas no obe start obe sha asida oriten onu nyi flooding na yehwe kase your fluvial flooding actually and ikro na yan rivers na yekukuwan ecologically ya yenza ma hu na wa asese nti fluvial flooding ankasa ehwe na ankasa on shadam ba pi but ehwe baby pia fluvial flooding very osi papa ni nyina so nsu ya auto ya fluvial flooding or contribute to fluvial flooding na yan ye wo coastal areas there is coastal flooding as well but says as a year common ehwe onye coast nankasa na o create problem and most of it it's pluvial or yen sonorotan no create problem and then sonorotan and can yet titi goyi insuta oko yenya problem bia nti adze edi ye bi se on de ntina ndambri nsuno yedam otum of flood them nti only baby me pede yesha asifi yesha ami goya na matna the times moko university pen na mentina igoya hade yesusan na yewo as our friend wetlands p we goya hade nature nanka said in its own way these wetlands they are receptacles and suto no doso no about no agency no watoba na omensunoko your friend be time of concentration say hydrology time of concentration ya kada to that catchment baby nsu ta or contribute to the particular drainment time of take if them able to dam draining on no time of concentration the can there say in them na you okay wetlands in our wetlands or reduce time of concentration and among to tofi baby pier when now over baby shen be reduced be bantam into drains and what too often swing now ko that says ya and zama ya na the ya in there ya feel flat plains in one fan flood wetlands in the ya feeling in na ya twitwa drain salmon the drains because it is engineered then as well in there always slope nsunuta short time then swing na could do baby if your Casford drains are see the Casford here now saying to be overflow because within a short time swing now could draw ain't that nature here and why them now so yan nature and see sabi ye drains fast ya say wetlands in and snuta within very short time then you concentrate on Casford drains not so pa now so says ya sooner runoff not generating untum for draining into the behind the obobodo into flooding or baba. And see, most of our flooding, that is the main cause. Yankasa ye create avenues for us to reach places they shouldn't reach within a very short time. It overwhelms the drainage system. Able to argue with that it be a drainage in your papa, but yes to say, no ye problem, the same town. In such a yeri BB incident, the Vincent in Orocodo, and the Markan. On your drains, no cotton. Yes, it's Dani. Baby, Anna, haban winning, says yes, it's done ye pave baby, no snoot on to Munkofum. Ning I don't around about drain simu. Drains are they built to carry all that? And see, in Zemepina or how? And see, Bawasa may be said about coastal flooding and flooding up in various forms, but says a flooding year on yet a Punankasa will create problem. There are times that you find a Punabayama, Yakada tide in Abasur. Oya dama nsuno ofi nsun atonozer banina ontum nkwapono mu ono wo ho oya dama nsuno na oba backlog no we create flooding but says yaze oya pure rainfall no create problem dem
engineers are what to work on pose kai ba be here hwede yakuro no membisa because ya awda ye ko bibie wa checheme kire things which are closest nzama oben he papa on engineer on here fu ekwakudo nti ma wotu mu akew oda yitu ejina anu ho mom na efi tu na yehwe nzama wotu mu abobo mo to asra ya MCR fo yenhwe de nsun na wotu mu afla de obebi no whilst we are discussing the issue no se ke bia one problem to na fi yima oya engineer wotu mu hwe sabi ure bia na aduna kakaka na awose do no kwaro no acha na menje botu mu ba oka sabi do adokara no oseda bra ibuhundo yin papa bra dan hwe ochire okwa kare kasha gata man we hwe o abakato wolesa na bo ha daaye enti nsi otetei nnazi mabi we sisi wa kwan dam engineer tumerican no na se oben dem na no otie ya nchombra na omohwe dam ebien haza wotum no waye mansuso ebi kire we ne dede mansuso ka o meti say yetum ebre because when you are in a bushy, at least one more futu, young consider the Menzame ABCD, nephew into me more, and into because it was Sika, Butumina, Etumina as I was, Netumina Abua. Engineer, oh, you're born there, and I ain't say you won't be, instead, you shouldn't to Pinana, near to me a branana. So I'm now here yesterday, Pinana, Yen to Kankami, Predator Mufu Bida. They change the teachers and may change papa. And this day is you won't be at the boy in front to tea. It wasn't in Sunaba, you to me a K that the Mazia, any the mother. The reason is Gatsby, Ayayama. We don't bother, no more fool. I buy it then on fire, you know. She said, Sunaba try to look at you, a hey, Bia, and Kalmantoma. And then the Herman paying no awful or you head. no the tinchima so no hwe abrabo bi me tum na abo wo oya o man Ghana na waso to ba kere sisi a we do bia wo dey asoya kase yi bi hwo edu ko ye bebi fufu nti wa dey yetum yitima ye budi dam pempenso e chere ye sisi enyi hu nwi asana yetum ye budi dam pempenso de bia yi hawo na Nigeria
meda sivio asme bi sono oya sampa ma start if baby yam fan de yeringin na yam as ye fan da gatasi me pede hina yatase drinks na bi wo oya no waye bi aka ho but oya there the way we are developing and the way our public infrastructure yeah, my development no public infrastructure they don't measure up. It doesn't they don't commensurate. And see, most often we personal development or more than public infrastructure. But yan zaman kitenkite it fits into the public infrastructure. You need how to even treat our liquid waste. They all join the public system. But public system will design all those individuals in a warrior damazina. Those are questions that we need to ask. And see, Esha, I'm not targeting homes and ABB, but there were drainage systems. But over time, did we consider the way we're developing? You're sharing drainage, you're checking the capacity there, or you're fit for purpose. Another Ejana Dama, you will drain into AJ. Into Nzama Rokodo, Yan Wafri, Ibia Sonia Wafra, or Yanida Huban. And see, says yan, why they develop page and drainage system? They say if I drive around no much drainage system, maybe Samanyami, Maframa Nama, more complain in Dama, no was the ad, Yanya BBA, no Miss Maria that Kasaka can able to me aka. Or Sunday, or your pen P, one of the down, if they don't take the stepper, even if I talk 100 times, I'm wondering what can change. It's only when they pick the things we say, not by implementing. That's when it works. I think that not just Cape Coast, but Ghana, we have to have a full overview of our drainage systems. If you are we see Archer, if you also for 4 years, Abeshim, the 4 years, Shim, that don't years, Shim, do they have any connections? Did we consider what was there? Yampanacas for drains, Akasakasi, they've been there for ages. But drains so 4 years is sitting now. Did we check the capacity of those drains there? You feed one. Those drains could work perfectly. Yeah, shut down zaman na problem we create in the above flood UCC. Was I above trains in now Kogu Casford drains in the moon? Drains they've exceeded their capacity. There is nothing the drains can do. It's a flood in the Baba.
And yeah, we have technical men a lot. Every municipal, metro, district assemblies, all this. Here, they are there. We have engineers, we have town, country planning people, and we now with more. That shows that Zawutumo Katrain, young fine ejuma. It's a team beyond Sutara near Bia Hawi. It's a sutum, my papa de Riabara.
We are doing before.
Yes, that shows there. Yente. You as Ghana engineers, Ghana in a plan is no outsider. It one who hold one high esteem. Because the ideas over to Muna without paper, or different, that shows that you don't value them inside the Bay Haunana.
Okay, well, I'm imagining basically, maybe I'm a PhD in my brain. By the 2 years, I'm professor from the year work in it was about a river. They wanted to build a bridge across, but Yesha River and the way you're developing will build bridge in a very highly unstable. Or from there, Oko meeting or present result in water into one bridge into no engine or from the years of home. So, just as you're saying, we have the technical men, but it's about letting them do the job. I can't district assembly. Yeah. Engineers, on your engineer piano or your drainage engineer. That's one thing that sometimes we forget. Then for the planners, they do full planning, so they have a good overview of what they need. But when it comes to the actual work, you need a drainage engineer. Not every engineer does drainage engineering. And see, or some kind of idea, but only holistic idea about it. And see, obotumwa bibi, my maybe what na junum poron kodeda. Or Sunday, you train engineers civil or be drainage engineering kakrawum. But that is not enough for them to develop that kind of the master plan for Cape Coast. it involves a lot more work than just the simple engineering things na ya chawone. And see, I think for a start, maybe we should look at the capacity building of our engineers at our MMDCs, MMCs, MMDAs. Their capacities are up to scratch. Yes, they are engineers. They've trained in a lot of things, but do they really have the requisite knowledge about flooding, about infrastructure to handle drainage? There are other agencies that work for flooding. Some are emergency response agencies. In Sobakuro, flooding by Admo. Yes, although they deal with, but the root cause is getting the drainage system to be able to handle the runoff and stormwater and urban. And see, I think from, as I may be saying, we have engineers, but whether they are up to the task is another thing. So we have to look at that. More often, engineers in BBI okay. Maybe their background, their competencies don't really match up to the work we expect them to do. And see, I don't blame them so much. They are doing their best. Yeah.
Right. Dog say they are doing their best, and somebody will also say that their best are not enough for the community. Exactly. Yes, for the community. And so we should do more, or they should do more. Dog. You were schooler. Yeah, classwork. Yeah, class test. Yeah, homework. Another assignment. Yeah, exams. Now the next level. The man to refresh you at time you go your school. Young there. The engineers say to me, there were you drainage engineers or you were building inspectors or and building engineers or you were the engineers or well recently. So I think can buy and sana in see you tomorrow about me here. I want a denebu, my son is simple baby. That shows that those there they need extra training or workshop. I refresh one on assignment. They also do it. Somebody will check. Because if nothing. 10 years or one occupation. Yes. No refresher course.
Yeah. As someone I think the MMDs should invest in training their technical people. Oil work workshops but I think they should concentrate more looking at our pressing needs. Says Ayesha, infrastructure resilience, and you hear that very much. And see, their technical men, they have to do their very best to give them refresher courses in some of these things. If you are wasting as a sometimes some of the challenges, they are not things that came up when they were there. They need to have that kind of proactiveness to be able to deal with things that are even outside their scope of how the training goes, so that it builds them up to be able to face some of these challenges. And see, I believe that they need refresher courses to understand some of these challenges that are coming up better, so that they will be better placed to deal with them.
Look, day in day out in Miracle and Zama to me say, able to save the situation now. And they be a soluto, a den bubu, the massive between me see, the casca crab, near to me, the man already to me.
I believe when the rain started, the MPs, MC, they were going around the areas which were high risk areas. Now work that they had to do this, clear the waterways. Perfect. We have to look not just about clearing the waterways. From my own perspective, I believe that we should check our drainage system holistically. Or Sunday, Obini dance waterway do, Akle, Nsunuko, but Nsunayin for no Okodru. Okodru, today our baby Pia, we believe our waterways. You're clearing the Nsuning now of a flood drains in Okodu Casford. There will still be flooding at Casford. What are we doing about the flooding at the Casford drains at Casford? Because we just pushed the problem from one place to the other. So, as I said, I'll reiterate it. We need to look at a holistic thing, see our drainage system as a priority, and redesign the whole system. Initially they weren't buildings. They are bringing us a lot of runoff. We'll pave places and not in Jawo. And we'll say there is a funny thing. It's very practical, but sometimes we don't think about it. In the Wakada Desert, runoff here very much because there are no trees. Trees they intercept the rain. Why today wetland as some number can or slow and soon time was bodu assassin or would one on impact be into easy double top our cash assassin. Ye claim being in an essence to assassin, says Siano or runoff. That's the same thing. That analogy na mezi baka da masem. Inti say yeah clear yes see then be brave. Inti so no urban or also what previously existed. Yeah. And see, basically, I think we have to do a holistic assessment of our drainage systems and redesign them to suit the current circumstances. We need to do a holistic job.
All these things, yeah, all day yet to me, more insistent, or yet me before, and then there our leaders know what to the man.
Also can, because it is public infrastructure and so on individuals in the Amazon. But I think there are laws that govern our individual and the way it's done. Interfere with system. But what I'm talking about, it's the government of the place that has to deal with it. And the government, I'm looking at both the local and national because it's a capital intensive thing. In the assembly means the assembly was able to German. In the local government presses the national government that there is a need to do ABCD, I'm sure they would come in to do it.
Dog, I'm talking about the gardens. Say to me, you Shabro community, we have a big gata, PPAG area. Gata no tumuso from academy, the man to Mababas no tomoko. Or while with a few days in Subaton work this garden, you won't see nothing. But in su what to turn the garden no more to me ne in su ta now whatever for them. That's what we should double make a or the garden you to me ye papa ye more to more flow. Now in your garden they be in su ta or to more for the engines there. Our leaders are not up. Or we are deceiving ourselves.
Moments are main blame leaders. Actually most of big drains, storm drains were not just in Cape Coast, young country anymore. Today or door for instance. They are natural streams. But because of urbanization, ecologically, alter rivers. And in the long run, yes, you storm drain more. Abras, they are natural streams. And soon, but source now, that is where people are building a lot of new houses. And the brina, I can sediment no gentlemen. You recruit your central government and other local assembly in Oria. But sometimes some boys local government they should monitor these things well so that we reduce the impact of some of these sediments in the drains. Because as some about or any penal sedan cotin or bread, our nature a stray bullet to Abba count. Which is the one and suffer for one. They are not the cause of this flooding, but flooding by Abba count. And see, I think it's Obiawani duty. The central government or the local assembly is supposed to make sure that we have the drainage system in place. They also have to make sure that they don't affect our public infrastructure because most people, still people continue building the way they are building. A lot of sediments will be generated. They will come into the drains. They would reduce the capacity of the drains, and the possibility of flooding will still be real with us.
Yes, sir. Here, maintain to me for yet much because time Musa. Sorry, me in the Biamun. One. The terminal for the municipal and legislative assembly, Cape Coast, Waba community. Oh, paying for better when you community business. Then they will be there talking to us with information vans, department, blah 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 blah. Also, so bit awesome. In there, you one day communication link address papa. In the moment when a be back at the dominate yalapa, because you will came in ma. It be quite for a watch more can sumpo or you're fine. But in the to myself, and since there we don't understand what we are doing, how we are moving ahead, going for it.
I think it's selfishness. Maybe I'm more some makade. I think what Yankupon Boyanen, or Bopapa Bonina, or Bomne Yimpan. Environment in a show the Nipa Yipabona or Yimpapa. And selfishness, American, there's a thin line. If I think about myself too much, I may be selfish. But maybe be more than that. Hey, as I may, what to how many you're then I become a good person. And see why the imping now be urgent. Zananku Timbe in your on dream impact about what next person will do. And that is the result we are seeing. I have money, I can do whatever I want. I'll go ahead and do it. I'll damn the consequences.
Doc, the natural lands are you to me where you to me is, I don't know. me some the navy the grass and the concrete na me pera me ye o me hwe me pera me ye no aban e bi prefer o ye da obe no concrete bi so prefer the butum o de na glass and this is no so ka ho ye tumi ya say he na sas was nso no da me ka say ken onye be biara nyina
exactly
one is force movement
seriously. I think maybe assembly, maybe they have to incorporate it in their bylaws that Esidana, you don't have to pay a certain percentage of it. But soon, women, ye pay baby and soon or run off. I will say the mazan and create journey be a man who feel in sniper okay. And see, I think that one has to do with enforcement because Nipa's jana. We are selfish. I'll think about myself and do things that will please me. And that's what we should work to change. And again, we need sensitization, a lot of education. The way our minds are corrupted now, some of this education to not get down with people. Because why I won't go to best and the onions for free. But it's high time we change. Otherwise, we are not going to see any improvement. You can't continue doing the same thing and expect to see a change. It wouldn't happen.
Now, can this flood issue affect our daily economic system?
Definitely, definitely. Ebina, and the Danopa, Benjamin could be Mary Fifi, not Benjamin Fifi or Kakra. Middle office, one China, Metida was in there. Winibapan wa block. Na me say, ejumante na orokwa akra. Say our block maintains or cross here na were affected. In a lot of ways, economic activity is affected because these roads, they are linked to a lot of economic activity in our towns and villages. And see, once the floods cut off places, economic activity na oroko and productivity reform. And that there was an announcement by the Interior Minister there. Yeah. People who are home should stay home, wherever. So it means that there was virtually no productivity. And since Bonne no one or affecting the economy. If we are to calculate cost the economic impact of that, how things were disrupted now, we would have a fair idea the kind of the Bonne impact or have when your economy do. But because normally we don't value some of these things, so we don't see it. But it really affected a lot of things yesterday.
Also, we tune as the Ayawana to us, never send a message, Yadaba, or your Facebook channel, do, and now they're with you now, Fred, now the Archer Wagon, so a 2 minute Amissah. Send and the more you to me, you have been pampered, so I can never want Fabian. Now, a business out from the bed, we need to, or yeah, no, or the baby order to watch you know, could do. Was in the knuckle of what Tonnins was say as the demarcations of a say, or Bayana Bassar. But on fun originiska and originiska. I could the bone I watch Manso. Manso watch more doors the pa in my band there. I mean, as I will tell you, 10 years back. No saw tomorrow tell you. I have 5 years. About 5 years in the Wapa register. The 10 years is the one register. No court so the paper of the castle. No, so or the bush from Bacassa. Today be a no, I'm a language for Kamodo. The right shows down here for no 2 million. That shows that here for the people more than Nas as we demarcate TV with our corner to move attitude. But over an agent there, Yaz another member and Bayajuma. To open the man, Yaraba Young Harbor, another 20. Then another man paying, Bill Catcher man paying them you. Instead of parental man paying no from the beach. That's what somebody will say. As I want to hear man paying, no sauce, I have rubber bullet, a rubber booty, na often sunuma. Jotie baby my honeymoon at the ha, about to know man paying or from to one shot. Now, so security issues it will not allow it. They will to hear president or to no announcement and to soon. The man waiting to on your possible. The American on workout. But them a debian pay for to make a train, or they wasn't a fit to each other, more with our boy. They fit to my acquaintance, which will now also afraid 0508 206 846 0508 206 846. Which will now afraid another ascend message to Zaba. na yetum na ya kenkana mo ana dog wa ha se message otum no bi ya na dog ye hwe the climate change I dey be item yika you me sakra o ka kire and I played the last video I'm here so no doesn't automobile but I saw it today if you bushia my friend me baasa you couldn't in kan kitchen chime ko hwehwe bi ba wotum obi yi hon gate and wa block boy gate on e ko so haji na wodo hono tra wall abakara sabi so we before we go npo ayaya atete e bi gba ni oda table do so ze no ko car so STC one minibus e bi
yes
so ze roko
I saw that
and all this thing oh yeah me see nche ewi mre sakrai make your for wo bohin kede afin so boto why the yentum na yanje bribi na ya tena ha ma yebudu dem pempes si sample ya tele si ara chere the way you should return keep us so here that baba very serious the keep us right but on you serious there akrazi
Madasi I am the anope number news item be about what it was a comparison about the amount of rainfall over the years. Actually 2024 not 2025 it's almost like doubled. But under the Nsunkutin it's trying to match up with the month of June previous year. No, so I'm not sure about the figures. But climate change. Nsuzo yes on yim there odu da mantie nsuboto. But say climate change one man zamara sesa. Nti time I expected nsu no baba obanda nsu no nya dan now or ye be before expected nsu no boto one day bond to 3 days. Time as I expecting to tin or year, but with all that and still a forecast or catching and see your brain cable to me as that the young window. With my metimete bonkus, with my metin, there is a natural stream. Makatu affairs and Martin by 12 years. Makatu affairs and sooner by starter hydro for waba no will be drain sitting in but better by 5 years in one bamba. And see, we should bibia nzame bia kwacho nzame bia ho anka de ye ya mo hu se we become too comfortable as in the bia nsuno to nya hwe nka me ma baka story bi ba me pede be chanti o chira makadam bia ma baby makadam story no or human behavior yet now as in or the same thing for a long time you get too comfortable and we don't think the harm can come. I will use Holland as an example, the Netherlands. Actually, one flood defense is now why now. In Bibi, what now was that's a flood, the climate change increased by this. You can see you still bottom are threatening. Now why I want calculations? Now why I want costing? Okay, you see dikes and the Yaman height kakrakam. No worry. As a number, the 1,000 po in Subia and Seno now so worry into the future. Gotcha. So they've improved, they've strengthened the existing flood defenses. But in an Amazon area, the example we don't take good care of it because if I take you around to check the state of our drainage system now, about the flood, flood, that's a problem. And see, I think we have to do more to even take care of what we have because the example you usually improving for circumstances are you to me predicting ye.
We all crying that the government of the day on yazi on bois buntumba on fade mafo. The kind of ya able to do them pempers, she send them a piece as an assay. I'm not dog, you
Oh, I was saddened yesterday when I looked at the extent of devastation. I didn't be on your damn flood young cable botum with 10 years and ABB. But says here the way Otten soon be more cash shower down the moon. Structurally no affected. If you saw just clearing the debris from flood Nanka Simple Koya cow, necessary Dananka says why affected. So I believe that government should take a bold step. All young politicians, you've been elections, when as I day into me and there is one thing I always say. One pencham, anybody whose sensitivities would be a one pencham. Maybe because I studied rivers, OMAR is maybe mentioned differently. Yampan to the wager. There is a river, there is a floodplain. Of course, see the next floodplain. If the river overflows its bank, not called the Manerusu. I don't matter what Manko Tementase. I am the government shouldn't go to the aid of these people. Why did you go and build on Azenim a floodplain? The river overflow a Pabakodo. Young from one out what it will fear will be a bit more about affect one. But this one, you know that it's a natural system. So some of these things, I think education here, mom. But yeah, so I say your own question. Do we value our lives? The fact that there is no flood in that floodplain in 20 years, 30 years on Chadomba, man cuts now. Yakupon boy as one cuts na baby them. Man yet. Yankasa, so we should advise ourselves. We shouldn't always wait for authorities to come and say that the man's on yet. Let's value our lives.
Doctor say, our day to me when Hinabra Kitame Yayi. You see, this a dog there, young share on engineer background.
Yeah.
You see a water too much to pay, Jenny. A day flat in Saku. A dembo house, story building, half of down floor. So, man, why a mamma built to so crowd who be little crowd. You see, how crowd. I don't know the capacity between Jamara and another to affect the building.
Will depend. Sometimes, yes, and them are on face value. Tibi Obako unsa akomedana say on cheddar dana say. Nina, you have to verify to come to a conclusion. But there are some kinds of buildings, especially those which are mad in Sukuma, and that's in about started dissolve nana bibidam, and so about affecting strength. But a lot of concrete buildings, especially if you have a foundation wrapped. This is wrapped foundation, why the yakadeda non flu to unsudo. And see, technically it doesn't really have so much. The AO being the Sumba Quadan Casano and dampness nazi. That one we can treat them. And see, we have to assess buildings on their individual A. And see, if you want to come out perfect, you also on Shadan Yanishi. There's aesthetically done whom by saying as they cleaning as it. And see, it's a case by case basis on your Danina and Sukuma nature that Dana say. You won't say, and Sukuma pray would Dan say, a day drew a bear for free.
Dogs are ready to me, Drew Danugu, Nephi, Etumina, Airfu. Dog is no, and can't hear for whom, but we want to share our view, Nephi to me. I hear for an alternate sassy. Asasibia, don't could opinion without the chiefs you can over there. Omne aban the big planning, it could be a order. But in terms of Asasa Oberton, Mokotomiza, Mokan for, I don't know what to sign on. As I was born part on the dado, or here why this can be between my son and Disca. How can first of all all of Disca in some P. It is a time so how they imagine from what Musiazi. Open there, they should do proper demarcation in terms of land, macro, the Mahagata Vada. Sagapin to come my gatana, Mason in the Navy, my construct a message, in son Baba from, or far cotton is easy. No, I could the main gatter to Nako.
Simple.
It is like here for us all day to Imohansi.
Education is it. I think it should sit down to everybody. I am put they are not down there because they wield a lot of power. And see, all stakeholders they need education. Land administration in BB, I saw there was a lot of transformation. I thought there in Zama Basis, but the Yansubana and Zamanas and Sisano and shut down code the way Yakon, but the chiefs and things. But oh yeah, Zamo during the chief Otton assassin own to me insisted that Yagata Wahadi city authorities in the worship. So there should be that kind of collaboration between the city authorities and Onyahim Fund. I'm a Warton assassin. They should be sure that the city authorities are ready to provide public infrastructure to deal with some of these things. Why the problem is it? Or what on the best thing your problem with you?
No, from the engineer background again, if you send a message out there, it's a need, it's a you are allowed to fence or the fence will protect your membrane and the water will go away. That's true.
I'm Pacho Dabi. I don't know the context in Paconer Kadamazin. I know of a hostel around Bonkus. And so to tell you, it's not a high wall, it's just a dwarf wall. And so now come wall name. Wall it's not a guarantee to stop the flood water. No, it's not. It's not.
Young Conquer share or insert tell you why I'm the na Yambra. Yeba within some minutes about sorry na dog got enough for 2 madame. Yaman paying Anantu Mihando, Ashe Mankanaye, Naza Wotumosisi, Nazama Honakaroko, Nazama Wada Oye Insudihanado, boat or the Kafu Wofi, Wotumoroba, Nembia Horopi. Young Conquer na you won the Yanka Saturn since Jaya. And I don't think it would be 1 month since she came pa the main in our boko. So no young point sure. That's why President no Akasa day. You soon do no phone on FIFO on dry for Sassanaba. See, they be a natural for tomorrow. Into my sound and bra, Nafi, young shares or tomorrow, while you're in short to a month or 2 no, I fed to Nan Crambra, Nambra Doctor.
Oh, mother.
Sino FM kwa na olpalo wo.
Me fie ni de bia metini masa hwe de nsuo no aye ha area ni nyina ni e bia yetini nsuo ni mbebie fi na aba flood afa ha nyina everywhere masa area ni nyina hwe Ankafu road no na fire service for ejina ho no nnuana se fire service for ejina nnuana se hwe e de kwa eko kwa de prison so na me de kira wi the area ni nyina no de ato ye wa ha no
This is a pick up in Wuna down, first in a pot lab. Now, who have been position a cash. Cars are designed for gas.
The decades, this great university has produced generations of professionals, engineers, scientists, medical practitioners, architects, entrepreneurs, and leaders whose contributions continue to shape Ghana, Africa, and the world. The university's impact is visible in the country's infrastructure, industries, healthcare systems, and indeed in the very fabric of national development. But I have a concern here about infrastructure. If it is still flawed and we still cannot control it, my engineers, please help me. It all borders on waste management and education, but I know that my university should be able to tell us where to dump what, plastics, wherever, because we train people on all these things. So please help me to resolve these problems, because other than that, the whole Ghana is going to be engulfed with water and flooding. As Chancellor, I'm particularly proud of the university's commitment to relevance. In an ever-evolving global landscape, KNUST has consistently demonstrated the capacity to adapt, innovate, and lead. The university continues to uphold its founding mission while responding boldly to the demands of the 21st century. Anniversaries such as this are not only moments of celebration, but they are also moments of reflection and renewal. Moments of solemn declaration of our resolve to chart a new future of eminence. As we look to the future, we must ask ourselves, how do we sustain this legacy? How do we deepen our impact? How do we ensure that KNUST remains a leading force in knowledge creation and societal transformation? The answer lies in our collective resolve. As Chancellor, I'm particularly gratified that as KNUST celebrates 75 years of achievement, it is also preparing deliberately for the future through its 10-year strategic plan, Plan 2K35. This ambitious roadmap reflects the university's determination to move from excellence to greater eminence.
We just finished an aerial tour of Accra to inspect the flooded areas. Unfortunately, the flooding has been very extensive today for several reasons. There's climate. If you look at the rainfall pattern from 2024, 2025, 2026, you see that increasingly every year we're getting more rain in Accra than we used to get. Accra is built between two natural bodies, the Kwapim Mountain Range and the Atlantic Ocean. And in those years, it was not a problem because Accra was a very small city. But as the population continues to increase and people continue to build, it restricts the path of the streams on their way to the Atlantic. So that's an engineering problem. We need to see how to open the channel so that the water can pass. But then there's also the other aspect, which is attitudinal and human behavior. That is dumping garbage in the drains. Even in the air, we discovered many illicit dumping sites where the wetlands are, people have gone to create a waste dumping ground, and they charge 20 cedis for the Abubuya to come and fill the waste into the wetlands. And when it has filled sufficiently, they sell the land to people to come and build on it. Anytime you begin to take action and you start breaking houses, people think that government is inhumane. But when the problem arises like this flood, it affects everybody. And so all of us have been affected because of the conduct of a few people blocking the channels and preventing the water from passing. And so we'll call a National Security Council meeting. We're asking every district to identify, together with the Works and Housing Ministry, where the blockages in the channels are as they pass through the district assemblies, so that we can earmark those places for removal.
You see, they've even filled part of the waterway with garbage.
Yes, sir.
And then all these people are built here. You're in the park.
Yes, sir. Ultimately, the other solution will be to decongest Accra. And that's why we're planning that we move some of the city out, that is the major government departments, and then also create a new center of growth so that our people will start building outside Accra in a new city instead of everybody looking for some space in Accra to build. So, but that's a long-term solution. But I just want to express my sympathy with people who have lost property. Loss of property has been very extensive, and I want to thank the military, NADMO, the police, and the Hydro, Works and Housing Ministry, and all the emergency response team, 48th Engineers Regiment, for the rescue that they did. I've asked the Minister of Finance to
Yes, I hear you, Abba. Why were you my one to the trouble? I took for say to Chancellor of the Moya University Baba Kasai. There may be in soon on to you, but the Mafu to know to the tour or to tell us all your engineers. Umama than if you want to Mumbai. This is and she shot to internet cock a boy or two for this to me the children. And a man paying oil John Dramani Mama. No door, I feel you should share them or tomorrow. I know to my church in 2024 and soon 2025 or 2026 or 30. Debiano, the Biba catch a water table no tomorrow. The soon otter does no wound be now for the bar, now for so to will increase. Into also the National Security Council no road to Musha. The National Security Council will share bad over plan and implementation of which on a 20-year development planning. Papa John so Boko into 20 years in implementation because Ghana Sabi your national plan was a biaba or your campaign or catch on me biara atel into I don't know all fight for a big crowd that down none obey no baba ye no party ye he doesn't continue walk a cafe for and at time to mentor where the same party no government. Nti saba o party leader o den kan be ansa na wotu murban so wa ba bayen ne ncha wotu mu achoro if wotu mu akoyim the national development plan yen tire bia be wotu me bisi an nti amampanyin si nyini afo problem aba nti o ma na afutu afutu o de amampanyin ba ka achire Ghana timu are you ready to do it yin su ba no so kan so na ba ne kutu uri egu a bibi ho yeze kakra ne wa ata na we si don ho the wetland assist and you to me when soon go one or I mean I have fine. As in the wind now, wasted them all. So by the manager, ye baby into me. The major government department, Hillman Payne, if you want. Ye for the same thing. That's how I think. Up from Kakrampo, but someone because it was so we or the whole finance department, if you can. Wodoko baby, the same the people who go there. Say I'm for good policy, good plan. Ni name yazen to my fan kwa. The same thing about was the Jubilee House, baby what Mosin. Ye share our finance department, they call with what Mosin. National Police Headquarters, baby what more. Nipping yena, Econ can wallet to me. You want to bobo, if you are cross car, if you are cross car, if you are not to a cry to my they all sent with the same land. and the dan so yen ketenketo dana kasa ai aman kan me wan jira mata hakura fititi bulan kan de me wan jira ntina kwana blaze makwa aba doc hebraso ni mo ha samre tofa na fie me hem ni ntumi kan hina zaje jahin na fie tumi ya me hem no doc
me just the infonyi na ya hwe wa kan sampi nti yerbo wie ma pick words from mpemfno wakasani bi na mazaka sama mzbawi there are engineering issues that they deal with. Yes, those things are there. We have to redesign our drainage systems and see on all. But again, here so whether so ya him force or the way you treat your lands in a is sidden anyhow. Wetlands and met wetlands and menywaje. Osande yes to say they were buffer systems. And soon tana muskula na mukwan. Nsuta wetland bi ho. Ubande park, yen school park by half a flood. But in to within 15 minutes nsuning na akọ. O holdings not about moko. But they are all gone. So in planning our cities, if we are plan capital for free, we should have those buffer zones. We should have green areas. Green areas or flooded on how will be. But in the case of Nzema Teda flooding, there would be nice repositories to carry the nsu, then dissipate them gradually. But Accra, yes, is baby, the concrete jungle. Bibia yes, then Accra and Shadani green areas, but and see, those are some of the things that we have to look out for as we think to the future. The Yaba plan your cities well, so that some of these things would be dealt with. Yes, sure, some about time of concentration. If we can easily find a way, if we just can find a way to slow the water, then now could do baby at the same time, it will help solve a lot of the problems. And see, as different engineers try to go through whichever processes to get solutions, we should be thinking about that. If we can slow the water, there's many people about solve our man. But Marian, an attitude. Scale of flooding on run was good drains normal or damazing, but in our small way, so we should check our attitude. It will help in our small vicinity to stop those localized flooding as well.
About the doctors, papa, the other no catching, all you soon here, but I already to Mrs. Nephew, Yema. Bibi utumo bukodo so atoba utumo akwankanka was ogudara onya nanko kontum ngani tiskwa na oko ne hawa no but atoba so in a slow pace down your botoba wa kwa ontum ho biara. The movement is very hard. Proper planning is very, very important, as Dr. Tumarkan. Your plan if you cry no and apart from the main planning I say yes in them. We don't plan. You're planning in your papa. Because consider your friend, make you consider my friend. Nefinche, in the way to enough. In your crown, Sakari to my from bar, or your passerby, which will to my from. Yes, share war. Let's leave the intervals. Nami now when you answer when you got it. No, if for war is one, maybe I am your apartment. What the baby sir? Now I yet me from Uncle, we know I'm at the missing here. Uncle, we are was in Kano, and can't pay for the 2 minutes. Dakuno this paddle, a ponodo. Na abi wo zedi uskatu fiki so na nkre yo batwa wa papa amada ko ni hada atuma
this can come
this can so that kan atuma da ko nti ni nyina ka o ma bi opokeda o ye bibi a wo kan wa dwun ho because this dom kase almost ankida ko almost 70% of people we fi community mun ya wo ko eduma wo baby ewa but ije wa boto akakra ba abako na nkre wi papa kan da matumutuko nti wa ma da min zamani nyina ka ho ma ka na doso. Because in Chawadan the hall, there's no fence or into act to Monko Tsenzi, nothing worries. But Uncle, Abu Kubud, Uncle, as the electrical input this park, Utumoko bitum of the a could call the out to do my to me, or too much one to do. I don't understand. No, it's a ever said that my dog to make it a wetland and a tumor here. Say, oh, why, you should not to bar Tumokwa or Tumnobra. And the baby, oh, ye greenish are. Jinsunu kwa no so amama hina hataw hina asase otu na wabre galafo so aja afa fa de be fi bia gala ma if you tumpo no wutu bo ho so wutu abe no so police for ba chan nyina wo zo ho kwai why say ya basre de ya mama zinafi in said the mensa mini hanso na obobo anyi na o ya anya na asadi de mempe futu meka de dog to ma da kana na fe to ma na dog de on to kon American bi me nkwete de on February to very no on them oil professor Banfo Ejiene do in sabeka na bi because if you had I to suffer ataba papa engineer Dr. Gabriel Jonathan Amissah yes the body na papa or your HOD or the head of department civic engineering or your CCTU corporation there na so aba no here abobo onkomo Professor Kwame Banfo Ejiene on a model in secretary do corporation papa that was so etum na atahile tibeti na dan na bibia so etum ayepe yana VC or your Dr. Professor Educhum Enyimubuachi Akwekusuka adena shishane adena bi Professor Dr. Kweku Educhum Enyimubuachi ebade was papa da was so of great etum na me nkwan shame etum je ko hinayim obi biara odina fitu anu so corporation papa and pay me ma chiraba na e start or your Susan Afiba Esia abama news e bon koma na dog abewe jin koma Susan be no be a chair corporation and the MCR eje and pay abon home at the papa corporation na obrada so that yeah obrada ben say to about nya da huna se cameras brother o me musin brother one top so bad na say to abo my camera dog asa say me akanti
is on your flat na some but some man kan ka mudu fia me din oba HOD no pa office 7th to the 17th of July Yen School of Engineering your bear program be ama GHS leavers na SHS leavers Yatunizen Young Engineers program. We want to introduce engineering to them as they are young.
7 this month.
7th of July.
Okay.
To 17th of July.
Okay.
Yes. Young campus were our ultra modern AVIC labs. We introduce them to all facets of engineering, from civil to electrical to mechanical to renewable energy. And see, one way we are schooling GHS for SHS for more Tenefi, one bra na Wombosiaze. That you will not regret it. You'll have a nice time with us.
I don't know our church at the message which I answered in Carmen Mother Corkama or Nipain. The Amazon on your Cosati or your Colaboni. Yes, I'm going to wish you to move. You and this cacas, and time this cacas. I'm a sir or part of what now I bois the opener. We can pick it live never to now. Now the closure so. No say aba naturally there may be a tumina aba no need my efe ama next time no was it mezereba na dompi etumina aba used to mo it's a fine plan it's obuto abwanti ibi kofia o schooler another way we wapira baba CCTU oh ye bo na aba papa me mo kosa TV o hozem nti e bo nkoma true prof mpo obuto na enkwenta na yakasipi therefore to no aba e bada wona so papa CCTU a chechefo na e bada wona se ankasa Dede bia nso otum na wo hwe oye Costa TV. Mejenesi OMAR bin ABDULLAH oye tun fara na pia za wotum aka chiri bia ya be tumi baba na da baba so mo. Mo we biara mmo na hwe mmo na te a beje so nyima hinwa. Bye bye.
Right.